Hi, I'm Noah Kadner, and I want to share with you everything I've learned about virtual production. But first, I want to introduce you to the volume. I first had the opportunity to start working with NYU Tisch back in 2020 as I helped Roseanne and Sang create their first virtual production curriculum. And today, I am super excited to be down here in Mexico City on the virtual production stage of Simplemente. In this video, we're going to show you how everything in this room works and meet all the people who make it happen. If you want to work in virtual production, you're in luck because all you really need to have is what we call set-a-kit, which is the ability to work in a live environment that's part film shoot, part real-time animation. But with all that said, let's go take a look. One of the key pieces in this room are the LED panels that make up the image. What you're seeing right here is approximately 782 AOTO 2.3 millimeter panels. Now, what does that mean? Let's take a closer look. If you're this close to the volume, you're going to see the individual pixels. Each one of these is exactly 2.3 millimeters apart. Now, when you're this close, what you get is moire, which means the sensor of the camera and this pattern of the pixels is interfering. So you never want to be this close. But we just wanted to show you what this looks like. And it's very important that the camera is always synchronized, same frame rate, you don't see any scan lines. That's what you want to do to make it happen. And also, don't ever touch this, unless of course it's your job to touch it, in which case, touch away. It's very easy to work with. Let's keep going. So if you look behind me, you can see the frustum is moving. And what makes that work is camera tracking. If we go over here, we're going to see we have a camera with a tracking device attached to it. This is a MOSIS star tracker. It's what we call an inside-out tracker. So if you were to look up in the ceiling, you would see all these little reflective stars on the ceiling that this thing has a map of, so it knows exactly where in the room it is at all time. And as a result, as we move the camera around, let's move it around a little bit, pan a lot, the corresponding perspective is being drawn in real time by Unreal Engine based on what the tracker is telling it where it is in the room. Not only can we move the frustum, but for example, let's hold the frustum for a second. If we wanted to, we can move that plane. You see that? Look at that. Spin that around. Everything in this scene is live 3D. So as we're shooting, we can make things change. We can change the lighting, the perspective, the props, you name it. And above our set, to make it even more fun, our lights, which are light gear Aurorases that are lighting this whole scene, are actually connected to Unreal Engine via DMX and pixel mapping. When we go look at mission control in a little bit, we'll see how all that works. But basically the cool takeaway is anything that you see in the virtual background, we can make the real lights do the same thing. So that's pretty cool. Well, let's move on. Speaking of work, let's learn more about some key opportunities on a virtual production stage and how they differ from traditional filmmaking. The director calls the shots and works with the actor. And this is easier than traditional green screen VFX because the completed shot is visible in camera. The assistant director has the job of keeping everything organized and on schedule. That can be challenging in virtual production because there are a lot of technical areas to coordinate. Producing for virtual productions is inverted from more traditional visual effects. You have to plan and create all the effects live before the shoot instead of during post-production so that they can be filmed live. Art and virtual art departments invisibly connect the real and virtual worlds. Always try to have one person from the VAD on set working closely with the rest of the production team. DITs have tons to do on an LED volume because you have the color science of the screens, the screen content, the lighting, and the color science of the camera all affecting the final image. If you're already on the camera crew, you can reuse your skills because this is what you see is what you get filmmaking. You'll want to learn how the screen works on a technical level and how to work in tandem with it. Engine ops and camera tracking are specialized roles typically in Unreal Engine or in camera management to synchronize the camera's movements with real-time animation. For media management, you're working with Unreal environments and collaborating with the camera footage. You can also use version control tools like Perforce to track environment revisions. Script supervisors play an essential role in virtual production continuity. Keeping track of data like virtual camera positions and environment lighting setup can also be coordinated via engine ops teams. Sound is also essential to consider because many volumes have a natural echo chamber effect, so you need to plan your recording carefully. So now that we know about some key positions, let's get back to the stage. Let's meet some of the people making it happen here in Mission Control, or as NYU likes to call it, engine operations. So, first off, I have my DMX pixel mapping operator that's running all the lights, making that look cool. I have my awesome Unreal Engine operators that are adjusting everything you see on the screen in real time, making all the magic happen there. Doing a little editing and post-production, because why not? Shoot, edit, same time. And finally, I have this nice broadcast setup where we can send monitor feeds anywhere in the room or even into a Zoom call to make it easy for remote collaboration. This team's done a lot of cool projects. Let's take a look. And that's about it for Mission Control. You can see a lot of great gigs to be had here, a lot of cool opportunity. Let's go check out another area.
Unreal Engine, developed by Epic Games, is a leader in real-time 3D creation. Here, we're using it for the 3D hangar set. The Martin Scorsese Virtual Production Center uses Unreal with row BP2 LED panels driven by megapixel processors on a stage designed by Lux Machina. It's also integrated with Vicon for camera tracking and performance capture, and FaceWare for facial tracking. Special thanks to Able Cine and Lux Lighting for their work integrating cutting-edge lighting and stage design into the volume.
So now that we've seen all the action that happens in the front side of the volume, let's check out the back. What you see here are all the individual panels that make up the one giant image we see on the front of the screen. They receive network, video signal, you name it. And all of it is made possible by these little distributors from our good friends at Brompton, which take the signals that come out of all the systems in the render node from Unreal Engine and distribute it to all of the individual panels so it looks like one giant image. So let's go take a look at the server room, see how that works. Here we are in the server room. Come on in. Let's take a look at all these components. At the very top up here, we have networking gear that lets the signals come to and from the computers in the rest of the studio. Next, we have the Brompton Tessera processors that take the signals coming out of the PCs running Unreal Engine and send them back out to the distributors that we see behind the volume. Next, over here, we have some timecode and firewall action to kind of keep everything in sync and keep the bad guys out of this room. Down a little bit lower, we have a bank of 6 Windows PCs all running Unreal Engine over in-display and sync. These guys work all in tandem, parallel processing together to send the signal back out to the stage. And at the very bottom, there's some batteries and other stuff that kind of keep this room going. This rack is the heart of the system, and this is what makes everything in the volume outside possible. So that's our little tour of the volume. I've seen stages even bigger than this one, down to literally the size of my living room. That's what's so cool about virtual production. You could even do this with a little monitor behind your head. And what's great about it is that since everything's in camera, it's what you see is what you get filmmaking. Anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and who knows, maybe I'll see you someday in the volume.